Let's speak, though, to Mark White. He's our Home Affairs and Security Editor who's been monitoring developments for us this afternoon. Mark, good afternoon to you. We have seen attacks, as I say, from the land, sea and air. What is the latest when it comes to where we're at in all of this? I think 10 hours into this effective invasion.
But this is radical.
Yes, indeed. I mean, those attacks are ongoing. We're told that they have targeted Kiev itself, or at least military installations in and around Kiev, including a military airport on the outskirts of Kiev, in which, according to the Ukrainians, 3 Russian attack helicopters have been shot down. They're also reporting that a number of Ukrainian troops and other people have been caught up in that particular attack, and some have died as a result. In addition to this, in Odessa, in the south of Ukraine, 18 people, we're told, have died, caught up in a missile strike there. Again, Mariupol, a residential complex in Mariupol, the port city on the Black Sea, has also been struck by shells, we understand. So it's all still ongoing. Just an hour or so ago, the air raid sirens sounded in Kiev again, with a number of people scurrying to air raid shelters in the capital. So a great deal of concern about what is next in the game plan of Vladimir Putin. But as we understand it, the targets mainly this morning and into this afternoon, our time, have been those command and control functions of the Ukrainian military, including air defences, with a view, of course, from Russia's perspective of gaining control of the air. You get control of the air, it makes the advancing of your ground forces much easier.
And in the last couple of minutes, reports that there's heavy fighting, according to Ukrainian Interior Ministry sources, in and around Chernobyl, of course, which is north of Kiev. Just in regards to this, Mark, we know the Ukrainians have said they're going to put up a fight. I'm sure they will. But in the end, the sheer scale of these Russian forces will overwhelm the Ukrainians. It is only a matter of time, isn't it?
Yes, I mean, in some respects, you know, the Ukrainians have a very significant, large land army, far bigger than the UK's, for instance, some 200,000 plus full-time members of the army. And in reserve, they have hundreds of thousands of people. Indeed, today, the Ukrainian president has called for all those with military experience, as well as the reservists, to report for duty to defend the country from Russian aggression. But the difficulty is there's only so much that ground troops can do, especially if they lack some of the key equipment to be able to fend off Russian heavy artillery and tanks rolling into their territory. And that is, I think, why we're seeing the Ukrainians targeting Air Force sites, air defences, command and control structures, because once you've got command of the air, you can roll your tanks, your battle groups into eastern Ukraine proper, and then you come up against, yes, a land army, but then you, as the Russians in this instance, have your Air Force able to work unhindered in support of those ground troops. And that is the real concern when you've got an Air Force above, a Navy at sea and a land army coming at you. If all you've got at that time is a land army because your Air Force has been taken out and there isn't much really of a Ukrainian naval presence to speak of, then it is very, very difficult to see how Ukraine can really resist in any meaningful way.
OK, and we were just looking at images there of the fact that very few jets, in terms of jets, I'm talking about passenger jets flying in and around Ukraine, of course, most air traffic avoiding unsurprisingly the area. Mark, for the time being, thank you very much indeed for joining us. Mark White there, Home Affairs and Security Editor.